The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
You know, out in Nevada near the silver mines, there's a kind-hearted woman. She's looking so fine, always taking care of her community. Bringing folks together is her cup of tea. She's out on the road and all over the web with a big smiling heart. It's about town, Deb.
And welcome to this week's episode of City Talk. I'm About Town Deb, Debbie McCarthy, your host. We're at the National Automobile Museum in Reno, Nevada, right by the river. And this is the first week of the month, which means I have Amber MF Hale keeping it real and leading with love.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
I'm good today. I'm a little tired, and yes, the cold and the wind has been making me a little grumpy. I'm looking forward to the
grumpy?
warmer spring days. You're a little grumpy?
Not really. I'm just tired.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it's the wind with me. I think trying to multitask. I was trying to do that this morning with 3 different things, and I know there's something about when you multitask, you actually get less done, I think. I don't know. Anyway.
Maybe you need some Adderall.
Adderall? I don't need Adderall. I need sleep.
Then get some sleep.
I need some sleep. Anyway, we have an amazing guest today. And this is May, and it's also Mental Health Month. Mm-hmm. But it is also a big day in Reno because Monday was National Hope Day for the city of Reno.
Didn't you guys have a mural?
We did, but we got to introduce Kathryn.
Sorry. I already got introduced to Kathryn.
I know. So Kathryn Goetzke, you are amazing. And I have been following you for the last year. Has it been a year since you started the project in Reno?
Yeah, over a year. Actually.
Over a year. And
you were in our PSA. I don't know if you remember that.
No, you kidding me? I do remember. We had to do the whole Zoom thing, remember? Because it was crazy. And we all zoomed in and we all said what we felt about hope. And
nice.
It was really cool. I was really honored to be a part of that.
When was that?
Last year?
Oh, wow.
Was it around the same time? Because you may have launched it
I started in December, so it's been about a year and a half.
Nice. Anyway, it was really cool. She had amazing, people that, shared what hope meant to them.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. Mm-hmm. So we're going to thank our sponsors. And then when we come back after, we're going to chat a little bit this first break. And then we come back, it's all going to be about keeping it real and sharing hope. How we can all do that. So sponsors, Crystal Basin Cellars, and they produce my wine label. So
yummy.
In case you're out there and you want to have your own label, we can make it happen. Home and ooh.
I'm kidding. That's too much work.
No, it's not. It is a lot of work. Home NV and Family Hope Project, Surratt Law Practice, Wild River Grille, and FenixMedia.us. Our engineer Christian over here, Dee Dee James, theme song, and Caliber Hair and Makeup. So there's our sponsors. We couldn't do without them. Did you have a busy weekend?
So my weekend, I was going to go out of town for a little day trip.
Ooh.
But then I didn't because I decided that I needed to, do laundry and dishes and cook. And
all
of those life things. But on Saturday, I worked an event for Dorinda's Chocolates. We were sponsors for the garden party hosted at the Club at Ranchera by the Junior League of Reno.
Yeah.
So I had a really beautiful spread of desserts out there, and it was definitely cold and windy, and all the women in their beautiful dresses and beautiful hats were just getting blown everywhere, and it was a little sad because I'm like, you guys are freezing, and I wanted to wear a pretty dress too, but I ended up not because I knew the weather was going to be terrible.
Well, I totally get that. So I went to wine country on Friday.
Nice.
With some friends just for a day trip. So that was nice. And we went to see Master Rosario, who's one amazing winemaker. And he plays the saxophone. And he just sold his winery. So this was our last hurrah. Yeah.
Goodbye.
So that was really sad because he is just amazing. So we did that. And then Sunday I went to Great Basin. They're beers on beers. And anyway, it was amazing. Mm-hmm. And there's a new artist in town. He's 16. 16. No, she was 16. I think he's first year at UNR. So would that be like 18?
Yeah, 18, 19.
He was 18 or 19, and it's Dakota Wass, WASS.
So I see that, yes, it's country music. I see. Gotcha.
I know it's not your favorite, but I'm telling you, this young man was so polite, and he was up there and he sang for hours, and he got us all like moving and grooving, and all the songs were really heartfelt. I mean,
were they his songs?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He had some covers, but my favorite one is the Battleborn one. And he talks a lot about Reno and Nevada. Here Comes Trouble was kind of a fun one too. Hometown Boys. But there's eight songs on his CD here that his dad gave me. His dad came up, and his dad was so cute. He goes, because I was taking I take photos and videos just because. Yeah. And he was wondering like who I was taking these photos. I'm like, I'm just little old Deb taking photos.
Little old Deb.
Just taking photos.
About town Deb. I wanted to add some emphasis on the end of that, but I didn't.
But it was really cute though. So anyway, his dad said, can you share those with him? I said, I'm going to do a video and post it. And he's already gotten on one of the posts, somebody already said they want to hire him.
Awesome.
So I'm excited, and we're going to have him on the show, because seriously, to find young men like this who are like good people, like he's from good, his genes are good. Yeah. Well, he does have cute genes, but he's really young. Anyway, so that, and then I've been working on the Biggest Little Bites Pass, which we know there's a lot of local businesses, so you can reach out to About Town Deb on my page, and it's only local Reno Sparks businesses, and it's not really an app. It's on your phone, so it's like a downloaded thing, and you pay like a month. It's only like $9.99 a month right now.
Right, yeah.
So 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months, and then you have over 40 businesses, and you get buy one, get one different deals off. So Biggest Little Bites Pass. So there's my shout out for that. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Kathryn, and she has lots to say, and we want you to really listen hard, because I'm telling you, since the pandemic, we all need some hope, and you're going to give us tools how we can get that hope. So it's About Town Deb with City Talk. We will be right back.
Now more than ever, family matters, and Surratt Law Practice has your family in mind. Kimberly Surratt and her team have been helping maintain healthy families through their holistic approach to adoption and surrogacy, child custody, estate planning, and more for over 13 years. Your family law concerns are in caring hands with Surratt Law. Schedule your private consultation with a compassionate Surratt Law Practice team member today by calling 775-636-8200 or visiting lawyersforfamilies.com. Surratt Law, where family matters.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool, and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets, and they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopRex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at fenixmedia.us.
She's out on the road and all over the web with a big smiling heart. It's About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to City Talk. I'm About Town Deb, Debbie McCarthy, your host. We are at the National Automobile Museum in Reno, Nevada. And Kathryn, I'm so excited to have you on the show. And I got, yesterday we were out in the wind in downtown Reno, and we were with amazing community leaders, and they were sharing why it's important for them to be involved in it. So right before you share your story, we have a quote. I always want to do, I want to do one per thing here. Let your hopes, not your hurts, shape your future.
Yes.
Robert H. Schuller. So I think that's really important, because I think a lot of us focus on our hurts, and it's hard to let go of the hurts.
Absolutely.
And until we let go of the hurts and let the hope shine through, we're not going to move very far. So I would love you to share about how you started the Hopeful Cities and the organizations, how it came about. So this is all you right now.
All right.
Let's go for it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here today. And it's been such a journey with Reno on Hopeful Cities and activating hope around the city. Where we began, well, I began actually this work almost 18 years ago is when I started my nonprofit foundation.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
It is
She looks way too young. 18 years ago. Seriously.
So, and I started it. I was starting my own brand and company, and I wanted to do what we now kind of call social impact, but at the time it was cause marketing for nonprofits as it relates to mental health. So you put a little logo on the front of the package and you say, we support this cause, and for each product sold, we donate to it. And I was looking at the branding around mental health and just found it to be so depressing, the imagery that was used, the people like hiding alone in the corner, and that's what depression and anxiety they said look like. And I thought, that's not relatable at all. So I struggled myself with anxiety and depression.
And then it puts like this view on it,
Totally.
That's where the stigma comes from.
Absolutely.
Like let's get rid of that.
I know. Because it's really everyone, so it can happen to anyone. So I lost my dad when I was 18. He died by suicide. And then I had my own attempt in my 20s, even though I thought I would never do something like that because of the impact, we know it has on other people. So I got a really profound understanding of just mental health, depression, suicide. And so I started this nonprofit. Well, so I started my company, then I started the nonprofit by default because of just the branding. I thought we have to rebrand mental health. So I got my product line and with celebrities and in retailers, and I ended up getting my brand in Lowe's Home Improvement.
Wow.
We sold 9 million products. We raised.
What kind of products?
So they're called mood lights. Yeah, mood lights.
Mood lights.
Yeah, and they were colored light bulbs at the time based on how colors impact moods. And I had Leatrice Eisman as the director of the Pantone Institute, and I studied with her on color therapy and color theory and how we relate to color. And so, created this line. Yeah, it was really fun. And so I got it in retailers, and then we raised a bunch of money. And because I came from a marketing and business kind of standpoint, I got really engaged in the global community. So I was asked right away to join the Global Mental Health Movement, which is a global organization working around the world to address mental health and stigma, and then started attending the World Health Organization's events every year. And just, it's been a great privilege.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. That is a privilege.
I know. Absolutely. And so I'm learning from all these incredible, amazing experts and scientists. I spent 10 years probably just focusing on rebranding depression and how to get celebrities engaged and talk about the biology of the brain and really use imagery that isn't reflective of someone in the midst of a depressive episode, but just that really represents people with depression and anxiety, which is anyone.
Yeah. I mean, from, like a young teen to because with my dad, I was his caregiver for 10 years. And there was, he lost my mom, and then, we moved him to my house, to Reno, and he did not want to leave his home. He wanted to stay in him. I'm like, Papa, like the doctor said, you got to go in a home or go in a home. You're moving in with me.
Yeah.
And he was so depressed. I mean, and he didn't know that he was depressed. Yeah. But I ended up taking him to the doctors. He had to go talk to somebody, and he didn't want to go do that. And he goes, I'm like 90. I'm like, why do I need to go do this? Yeah. But he was depressed.
All kinds of people. Absolutely. I mean, there's postpartum depression as well.
Absolutely. Yep. Young kids are struggling so much. It's happening in earlier ages. So it's really growing. And so I started that work. And then when I got some funding for the nonprofit through my company, I said, I want to look at a programmatic solution for suicide prevention, but that was really preventative in nature. Like if I want to prevent my own suicide, if I want to teach people what really is underlying causing suicide and hopelessness is really the single consistent predictor of suicide. And it's also predictive of addiction and violence and self-harm and crime and all kinds of kind of negative outputs of society. And
most definitely.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, why don't I know what hopelessness is? And why don't I know how to manage my hopelessness? And so we looked into the research on hopelessness, and it's both despair, so you feel horrible, and it's helplessness, so you feel powerless and like you can't take action. And so I thought, well, why don't we teach people how to get from despair to feeling better, and how to get from helplessness to action? And so we created a program. We started with 10 lessons. We moved to 12. We just, during the pandemic, I rewrote the curriculum, and we have 16 lessons, a deep dive now into all of the science of really how you manage your despair. I mean, so it's about, if we don't manage our hopelessness, we go into a depression. So, for instance, your dad, like the despair, if you're not really proactive. So we teach stress skills. So how do you identify and manage the stress response? How do you proactively manage that sadness, that fear? Those things that bring us stresses, because we know the neurochemistry and what happens in our body when we have elevated stress hormones.
Well, it's kind of the same thing like when you're happy. It's all chemicals. It's all chemicals in your body. And that's when people, I feel like nowadays people understand and accept depression more and those things like that. Whereas like 30 years ago, it's like, why are you sad? Choose to be happy. It's literally chemical compounds in your brain that are dictating how your brain is functioning. And that right there, I feel like is pretty simplistic. So it happens just like how when you're happy, you get the dopamine rush.
Exactly.
Same thing.
Exactly.
And it's literally proven.
Yeah. Totally. And when you're under massive stress, we usually stop doing the things that are healthy for us because we're stressed.
And it's easy.
I know. And that's what could lead to anxiety, to panic. Like we've got to be really proactive during those times about managing our stress and doing things that reduce stress. And then also practicing things that bring us happiness and joy and those positive chemicals.
I like doing that.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, she's good at that. Yeah.
That's good.
See, but I think there's a lot of times where people expect you to be happy. Like they don't understand why you aren't happy one day, or why you're not smiling, or maybe I just don't want to smile today.
I know.
But people look at it like, oh my gosh, like you're not perky Debbie. I'm like, I can't be perky every minute. But then you feel bad because people are wondering what's wrong. And then you think, is there something wrong? I don't know.
I know.
And then you kind of, it's like this, it's like you're in this circle and you're just spinning, and it's hard to get out of spinning.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but you have tools that will help us.
Yeah. And that's a big part of that too, is learning how to feel your emotions, because we turn to things like addiction or violence because we're escaping our emotions, because we want to feel happy. We want to feel better. We're told not to be sad or not to be angry, but our emotions are our biggest indicators of really what we're passionate about and why we're here and what we're here to do and what we really care about. And it's amazing to care about things, And so how do we put that to good use instead of turning to addiction or things that harm ourselves and others? So that's really what it's all about.
So what I want to do is step back a little bit. So with your nonprofit, what is your nonprofit called?
Yeah. So
let's talk about that, because you had the vision, and then you have the nonprofit, and then
so
you continued from there.
Yeah, International Foundation for Research and Education on Depression. But we're working on changing that, crossing out the name and putting hope in there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
But I don't think we'll call it IFRED. We'll just keep it IFRED.
IFRED.
So yeah, it's actually named after my brother, Fred, who's been a tremendous source of support for me throughout the years.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's what because I keep tagging IFRED. I'm like, what does IFRED have to do with hope? I was so confused, but see, that's why I wanted you to share.
Yeah.
That even makes it more special.
Yeah.
That it's named after him.
And it's so important. Our networks are critical and key to us getting through challenging times, having supportive and kind of nourishing networks. And he's been a really great support for me. So yeah.
Well, so is he older or younger?
Yeah. He's a year older. Yeah.
Wow. So you're close in age. So then that means he has been right by your side through all of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So then we developed Hopeful Minds. And so now it's an evidence-based program that's free and used around the world. We've got over 2,000 educators that have downloaded it and are using it. And I've studied with kids on focus groups in Malaysia and Northern Ireland. And,
wow, that's a big deal to be doing that.
It's really been wild. Yeah. So just learning about hope and across cultures and,
interesting. Yeah. I bet there is some cultural differences within these types of things.
Yeah. I mean, it's if they think it's associated with mental health, they think it's associated with mental illness and something's wrong with them and you separate them out. But when you talk about hope and hopelessness, it's something really everyone needs to understand and know. And that's more of a universal.
It's kind of a simplified version of looking at it. Like when you put it into that perspective, it just kind of clicks a little bit easier, And I think it is because of the stigma and I fight against that, but still even me, it's like kind of instilled down in there. It's when you put it, when you look at it that way, it's like, oh, wow, that's easy. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I tend to take very complex things and try to simplify it so that, I've been around all of these incredible experts and just listening to them and learning, and it's infused in everything we teach. And yet it's a much simpler, at least for me, way to manage it. So I have suicidal ideations. I just think they're a normal part of my life. And I immediately will think, what am I hopeless about? And so I start identifying the despair and the helplessness, and how can I address both of those? How can I identify and manage my emotions, and how can I get from helplessness to action?
Okay, so with that thought, we're going to hold off and come back. We're going to take another break, and we'll be right back. About 10 down.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving. without going overboard. So you don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I was skeptical, but these are actually pretty good.
You don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
You just need feedthepig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at feedthepig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us.
You know that's what she said. Come on, let's have some fun with About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to City Talk. I am About Town Deb, Debbie McCarthy, your host. We're at the National Automobile Museum. That's such a handful to say. In Reno, Nevada, right by the river. And speaking of being in Reno, Nevada, right by the river, yesterday we had an amazing turnout for your hopeful cities. And it was Happy International Day of Hope. And our mayor was there. Lots of community people were there.
What? How did I not hear about this?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
So I actually, you guys just recently painted a mural downtown,
We
right?
did.
Where was this mural at?
It's on Reno City Center's building.
Wait till you hear more about that.
Yeah, I know the artist, Haley Meadows.
Isn't she amazing?
With the Cat Cafe.
Yes. So I originally saw her painting the giant sunflowers. And then Deb, you start sending me the stuff about today's podcast. And I'm like, I wonder if the giant sunflowers that Haley was painting have something to do with that.
It did.
Yeah.
It
The biggest
totally
little
did.
city in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so our biggest little city, there's so much that goes on in any city that we don't always know about because we're busy doing our thing and working every day, but we don't understand that behind the infrastructure of the city hall and everybody who does everything, there's a lot going on. And our city was gracious enough and brave enough to take on your project with the Hopeful Cities. And I think, are we the first one?
Yes, the first
so
one.
talk about
Oh my
that.
gosh, I want to know. Tell me
She's
more.
going to tell you more. So tell us.
Yeah. Well, it's a work in progress, first of all. But yeah, the event yesterday was amazing. And we got to bring out some incredible community leaders. It started when the mayor gave me a call and she said, we should do something like a city, like kindness. They do for kindness and peace in the city, but for hope. And I thought, okay. So we looked into it and I developed this hopeful kind of cities plan and kind of some ideas on a playbook. So it started, we want our kids taught hopeful minds. So we got 11,000 booklets out in the Washoe County School District.
It's a big deal. This is a big deal.
Teaching little kids how to hope, because we know if you teach them before the age of 10, they just soak in all that information.
If they have those skills.
Yes.
Initially, then they can I know that me and my friends help each other and we talk about our feelings and emotions and all of those things. And it's like, could you imagine learning this at a younger age and like how much that'll just affect you growing up, like your understanding and your social skills in general? That's amazing that you guys are doing that. Wow.
Yeah, it's been really wonderful. And not just our own social skills, but recognizing, we teach our kids about the upstairs and the downstairs brain, and the downstairs brain.
So talk about that, because I was reading that on my post. I'm like, I still don't understand.
I've never heard of upstairs, downstairs brain.
Yes.
I think mine's all mushed together. So, explain that.
Yes, I try to simplify things. So the downstairs brain is our kind of reptilian brain, and that's where our stress response is. That's when we're in fear, or we're sad, or we're angry. So when we're in those states, those emotional states, we can't be in our upstairs brain, which is when we're happy and collaborative.
Up and down, highs and lows.
So I'm thinking downstairs brain is like fight or flight mode.
Yes.
Ooh.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you can't learn when you're in that state. So
you're stressed out and it's annoying.
It is horrible. and that's again why we turn to things like addiction, because addictions feel better in that moment than that stress, or acknowledging what the stress is about and listening to what it's telling us and then learning how to take action. And so, we teach our kids about that. And they say, not only can we now understand our own when we're in our downstairs brain, but we can understand when other people are in their downstairs brain, which is so key and critical. Like if you notice someone's in their downstairs brain and they're angry or they're yelling, or you're not going to be able to, you
cannot function properly. No. It won't, your conversation will not go anywhere. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we do know that Will Smith was in his downstairs brain.
Oh yeah.
He was triggered, but I mean, that's a perfect example of what happens. We have this flood of chemicals, this norepinephrine, this adrenaline that go through our body, the cortisol, and you can't access your thinking and you're thinking clearly. And until you learn how to manage that stress response and sit through those, it's a 90-second process where those chemicals flood throughout your body. Until you learn how to sit through those 90 seconds without reacting, you're going to constantly make your life harder.
So what do you do during those 90 seconds?
Anything.
As a person who's going through it. But if you're the person with the person going through it, how do we, watching that, what tools can we use to go, okay, do we just let them be? Do we give them space? Do we try to help them out of it? What would you do?
I would say breathing. So I've done this with little kids, modeled through behavior. Just, like put your hand and breathe deeply. And then they calm down and then they solve the problems on their own. Or you just give them the space, you don't engage. And I witnessed my dad exploding all the time, and I just try to fix him, and I'd always interject, and I could never just give him the space to let that kind of cycle through. I had none of that wisdom. So
I like the whole stopping and focusing on your breathing, because then it distracts you and it makes you do something and you stop thinking because you're focusing on the breathing part.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Absolutely. And then we also know that heart rate variability is a measure of your stress response. And when you breathe slowly in your belly, you improve your HRV. So it's not.
So what is your?
I've already learned so much. I'm like, I can't wait to handle my emotions better.
I know. Yeah. Well, it's a process.
I believe you.
It's simple, but it's not easy, as I say.
So on my social media today, I posted some skills, and it was saying to take your 90-second pause, the clear button, deep breathing, and doing mindful meditations. Because I mean, it's hard if you're in that mode. That's probably the last thing you want to do is meditate. Like, you don't want me to meditate?
I know.
Don't tell me to calm down.
Don't tell me to.
I know.
How often do you hear that?
Right.
I'm not mad.
I know.
It's not, and you're like, okay.
I know.
And now I'm stressed because you're stressed.
I know.
But then the next line down, it says setting purposeful goals. And this is a big deal. I know it's going to sound silly because it said even to make your bed every day. Because if
I do that.
No, I was not, as a child, I couldn't leave my room without my bed made. But I know that when the pandemic was going on, like the first part of it, I was out walking. I was walking every day. I was hiking, and it was by myself. And I'm not usually ever by myself. I'm always with people, and I really enjoyed it. And I noticed that, and I was trying to get up, make a list. I made my bed every day, and I had all this extra time. So I felt so happy. And then everything opened back up, and I'm crazy again, and I'm going from here to there. I don't unpack the suitcase. I mean, it's just, I'm in a frazzle right now at home. So but when I took that challenge on, my life, it was simple, but I'm telling you, I'm just being open and keeping it real.
I know.
I've been struggling. So, but that is something that you can do. But there was one other one that I am paying attention to them. I'm trying to find it on my phone in case they're watching. But there were some other positive ones. Do you know them offhand? Because my phone just lost them.
Yeah, for happiness habits.
Yeah, the happiness habits. Yeah, it's really cool.
That stuck out to me in here.
Videos. I mean, anything you do that brings you joy. And we lose a lot of that when we grow up, like what brings us joy. So think about what you loved to do as a kid.
See, I feel like overindulge sometimes, and I make a big list of all of my happiness habits, and I want to do them all.
Like all at once.
I'm like, I want to do a garden, and I want to start painting, and I want to make jewelry, and visit people, and go on trips. And those are because I like to fill my life with things that make me happy.
Yeah, absolutely, and bring you joy. And it's so important to do again, especially during times of. So during the pandemic, what happened? A lot of people isolated. They didn't get out. They stopped exercising. They stopped doing all of those things that bring those positive hormones and into our system. And then the stress response was super activated. And that's why we know anxiety and depression increased. And you know, and that's why it's important during challenging times that we are more proactive. But like a lot of times, if we lose someone, we feel like someone passes in our life, we feel guilty for doing things that bring us joy. But really, it's important, even more so, to kind of activate that in our body, because there is a biological impact of not doing so.
Wow.
It's like incredible.
It is, yeah. I mean, it makes total sense. It really does.
So yesterday you had a lot of people let's go back to that, because it's not just the schools. You have our police department, the sheriff's department, karma boxes. It's like everybody has grabbed onto this.
Nice.
And they're teaching the skills to their people in their departments, because if you're a first responder, you think about all of the.
Oh my gosh! I couldn't imagine.
I know
it's scary.
Yeah.
So you know, how did you get them involved?
I know.
That's a big.
Just been really
did it just happen? Did they just come to you?
Really proactive about. Yeah. I mean, it's been both, but it's looking at populations that are high in hopelessness. We know the second aspect of hope is goal direction and goal theory and taking action, that inspired action. So we teach a lot about that. But when we encounter a lot of barriers to our goals, that's when that despair and helplessness can set in. And so communities that are very high in hopelessness are those that are really stressed out, that have challenges in their jobs. So we heard Grant from Karma Box talking about, how he's got to really activate hope in his employees,
because they're one step from being hopeless as it is.
Absolutely. And so how do we help them proactively manage it? We know hope is super important in the workplace. So how do we activate hope in the workplace? We have posters on our website that any of the you're looking at them actually now. It's
incredible.
You can download and start learning about how to activate hope in your life.
Okay, happiness habits, invigorating music.
I love music.
I have a speaker in my house, and it is constantly going. And when I find myself going, why do I feel like this? I'm like, turn some music on and get going. And then I'm just dancing around my house.
It totally helps.
It's crazy.
It does. You have to
I really
turn
like
the music on.
Yeah. But we have to be intentional about it too. Like it sounds like you're really good about.
I try.
Being hard.
All the time.
Good, I know.
Okay, it's almost time for the break. So tell us the website.
HopefulCities.org.
Pretty easy. HopefulCities.org.
So any city can activate it. Yeah, we're having police teach little kids about hope and the stress response and how to manage it.
I'm so glad we're talking about this. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I'm so glad.
It's amazing.
I wish my grandparents could have had this.
I know. Yeah. It's everything I wish my dad would have known.
Yeah. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back for our last segment. It's About Town Deb with City Talk.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go.
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't? Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this.
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat. Cool. Very cool. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. Take one.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, family matters, and Surratt Law Practice has your family in mind. Kimberly Surratt and her team have been helping maintain healthy families through their holistic approach to adoption and surrogacy, child custody, estate planning, and more for over 13 years. Your family law concerns are in caring hands with Surratt Law. Schedule your private consultation with a compassionate Surratt Law Practice team member today by calling 775-636-8200 or visiting lawyersforfamilies.com. Surratt Law, where family matters.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us.
Ready to help from her toes to her head. Just give her a shout. Call About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town. This is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to City Talk. I'm About Town Deb, Debbie McCarthy, your host at the National Automobile Museum. And I'm going to do one more quote, and then I'm going to hand it over to Amber, because the last segment, I always want Amber, I never know what she's going to say. She doesn't tell me.
I love to talk.
No, and she's good, and she's very wise. So here, I like this quote. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone.
Very nice.
I have so many hope quotes because every day, if you look at About Town Deb, every day I am posting, I'm doing the challenge, and I picked a quote every day. I picked a really cool song, and I'd love you to check it out at About Town Deb. So, and before I forget, Grandma B, Ellie, I always do a shout out to them. Papa and Aunt Glenda and Nana up there. I love you. Okay, Amber. I have no idea what she's going to say, guys. So I don't know. Hang on.
So I love that. So your whole initiative for hope, and you guys did that amazing mural downtown, and your symbol is sunflowers, and I think that's perfect. For spring, I'm a very, very seasonally infused kind of person. So actually last time I was on here, we talked about the beginning of spring, and right now we're about halfway through spring.
Wow, already?
So I know.
How did that happen?
Yeah. So I wanted to kind of touch on a little springy topic. Are you guys familiar with the word Twitterpated?
Twitterpated? What is Twitterpated?
This always happens. Oh my God.
Is it when you're real excited and you're like twittering?
Yes. So Twitterpated. The first time I ever heard of the word Twitterpated, it was from Bambi, the Disney movie from 1942. And the owl in the movie, he says nearly everybody gets Twitterpated in the spring. And I always use the word Twitterpated, and nobody ever knows what it means. And I'm like, have you not seen Bambi? Like, I use that word all the time. So I wanted to see if you guys were familiar with it.
No,
that's so
Twitterpated.
That's so funny.
I love Bambi.
So Twitterpated is defined according to the dictionary as infatuated or obsessed in a state of nervous excitement. And then Urban Dictionary.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Urban Dictionary's definition of Twitterpated is to be swept off your feet by someone you quite fancy, a very strong feeling of love and affection. rejection.
I want to be Twitter-pated.
So yeah, springtime, everybody's Twitter-pated. Maybe your Twitter-pation could be right around the corner, Deb.
I'll look around the corner when I walk out.
But people always have, I feel like, different views on of just emotions in general, such as being Twitter-pated and like having a crush on somebody and those types of things, and how you're supposed to react and handle those emotions. And I believe that you should keep yourself open always, and I believe that you should allow yourself to feel those feelings. And I feel like there's a lot of people now that, there's a lot of promotion of like, oh, like, don't text this person back. Don't give them attention. Give them the same
I'm
energy.
tired of these darn rules.
That's what I'm saying.
Wait 2 days. No, wait 3 days. Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we all naturally have these safety nets, some bigger than others. Some people's safety net is a little like, I don't know how I feel about this. And some people have giant walls that barricade them in. So I just wanted to kind of open up the floor to talk about when you do feel Twitter-pated and those things, what happened? Like, do you have those giant walls, or do you allow yourself to feel your emotions and fall in love over and over again? Why not? How do you go about that when you feel those things? Because I feel like there are these rules in place, and some people, like, I know people that expect you to follow the rules, and it's like, why do you have to follow those rules? Is it really going to be damaging to you if you open yourself and feel those emotions and allow yourself to be Twitter-pated?
I think I feel Twitter-pated, but then I put walls up. I do.
So why do you do that?
Because I feel like, I don't know. I feel like if I get too close, if it doesn't work, I'll get hurt. Or I'm really careful. You know that. I would rather feel Twitter-pated with somebody who lives in a different city than my own city.
Safer.
Because I feel safer. So if it doesn't work, nobody knows. But if you're in your own city, I think there's like rules. Oh my gosh, what if you date someone in my own city and if it doesn't work? And then, oh my gosh, everybody's going to know. So I tend to put more walls up probably, or I sabotage. I Twitter, then I sabotage. I untwit.
I
don't know. It's your turn. Kathryn, it's your turn.
When you feel those Twitter-pated feelings,
what do you do?
How do you handle that?
Yeah, I do not follow the rules. I think the rules are just so overrated.
They're stressful.
Yeah, they are. And we all have our individual way. I think just honesty and openness. And I go back and forth between running and running towards and running away.
Well, that's kind of like putting up a wall when you're running away.
Absolutely. But I think it's just like getting aware of doing that and like being able to sit in it. And why do we run from pain? Like, what's wrong with falling in love and then getting hurt? I mean, that's,
I've done it.
Yeah,
and guess what?
Right.
That shit sucked bad.
I know.
Then I got over it.
Yeah.
And then you start over again.
And then it was fine. And I don't have that stabby chest feeling anymore.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Open yourself up in love. But it's hard. Yeah, so
I'm stressing right now just hearing this. I'm like, oh my God, I can't breathe.
90-second stress. We triggered
breathe. I need a 90. You guys talk while I take 90 seconds.
I find that when I am in those moments of like being scared, that fear kind of takes over.
Yeah.
And you go, okay, so like, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if it doesn't work out? And you try to untwit. I don't want to untwit. That's even painful as well.
Yeah. So you just got to go through it. And then come out on the other end.
Yeah. And get back into the present moment. So many of those things that you're talking about.
There you go.
That's our fifth key to hope, is eliminating those challenges that are those thinking patterns.
Get out of your head. Doesn't matter.
The worry, the internalizing the failure of the breakup, controlling things outside of your control, just kind of all of those things.
It's so true. I would just rather not deal with it.
Live in the moment.
Present. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Because then it takes so much of that fear away. And then you're just like, right now, it's good.
Yeah.
Right now is great.
Totally. Totally.
You just helped me. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Well, it helps me to help others. So you helped me too.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm glad that we can all understand that, there are these things in life that you have to go through and experience and feel. And if you don't feel them, how are you ever supposed to have the human experience? If you're constantly going, no, don't do that, don't text that person back, wait this long, blah blah blah, all of those things, bullshit. How are you supposed to have a genuine, real connection with somebody? If you care about somebody, you're supposed to express that to them.
Absolutely. And be authentic about your emotions.
Authentic,
and have them
yes. And I feel like people preach about being authentic, and then, but then their fear, because I feel like when you strip it down right to the root, it is fear. It grabs hold of them, and you cannot be authentic when you are in a state of fear.
Absolutely.
It will not work.
Totally. Upstairs, downstairs brain.
Upstairs, downstairs brain.
I love that upstairs brain.
I want to hang out with
downstairs. I don't need that in my life. Thank you very much.
Yes, I want to hang up. I want to hang out upstairs in my brain.
I know. Yeah.
But you know, there's a lot of stuff that's going on in this world.
I think I have a sunroof in my upstairs. That's what I want.
Oh, nice. I like it.
You stay up there the whole time. Yeah. And then a little ladder that goes out of it, and then I could go outside, and I never have to go downstairs ever.
Yeah. Put a hot tub up there, maybe.
That's fine. That's fine. Right, yes.
Yeah. That is a very unique way to think about that.
I love it.
I like that. I totally need to practice the upstairs. Because I feel like a lot of times I'm worried about everybody and I try to help everybody. So I tend to be in, yes, I'm perky, but I tend to be in the downstairs too much because I'm trying to like, how do I fix everything? How do I do everything? And then you end up just.
You really are a fighter. You wouldn't describe yourself as a fighter, but I'd say you're a fighter.
Well, yeah, fight or flight. Yeah. No, but this is actually tough for me. You even asking that. I'm like really feeling anxiety. Oh no, upstairs. I have to climb up.
That's the fear. That's the fear. And you know what? A lot of the things that I like to talk about to people, when you really break it down, it's all fear-based. Yeah, and I think it's probably because that's something internally for me is like when you're scared of something, it dictates your life and you can't be authentic and all of those things. And when you take a moment to kind of collect all of those ideas and you realize it is that fear, well, then you can practice, not being hopeless when your fear makes you feel hopeless.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah. And the saddest thing too, we know about teens and even adults, suicide, a lot of people, when they go through breakups, that's a big predictor of suicide with young kids, or one of the number one reasons that they take their lives. And it's hopeless. And what we don't understand is like, we learn so much from relationships and from breakups. And when you become hopeless during a breakup, it's because you're attached to that specific person, getting that specific person back. But if you can just think about the things you loved about that person.
And just keep those.
And then also something I think you can hold on to in those moments is another reason why I think you should fall in love over and over again. Because you can look back and go, okay, I loved this person deeply and with all of me. And I came out of it and felt so much pain, but then was fine. Yeah. And you can hold on to that. That makes you hopeful. Absolutely. Like, I've done this before. I got this. I can handle this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's another reason why you should stay open. Why conceal?
No.
Okay. Then with that, I have one more quote.
Yes.
Because this actually fits in. Yes. And then oh my gosh, be quick. Hope is important because it can make the present moment less difficult to bear. If we believe that tomorrow will be better, we can bear a hardship today.
Fantastic.
And seriously, I had no idea all of this was going to talk, and my quotes always work. But I want to thank you so much, Kathryn, because you are providing hope, not just for Reno, for our families, but beyond. So I am honored that Reno is the first city to participate because it's where we are right now. Yes. So I'm looking forward to see which city's next and how we all can make a difference. And Amber, I can't wait to see what you come up with your next phrase for the next show. So anyway, want your website one more time.
HopefulCities.org has links to all the programs.
Okay. And I will be back next week, and our show will be from where the sidewalk meets the home, and it's going to get pretty deep. So About Town Deb City Talk. See you next week.